what up? This is Compas Unfiltered, and I'm your host, Checo.
And this is your co-host, Noe. What up?
Yes, sir. You guys already know, got to follow all of our social media. All the links will be below. And real quick, ahí mero abajo. If you're on Spotify, it's also in the description. Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to us on. It's all there.
All platforms.
If you're from Chicago, it is hot as shit right now. Like,
very.
Yes.
Bien húmedo, bien pinche caliente.
Extreme.
But something else that's hot is the fucking housing market, man.
Yep.
So,
Big facts.
we're going to be talking about that. Anyone who's trying to buy, refinance, anything like that, we have some people with us that are going to help us and talk about this. We have Felipe and Vero. Welcome to Compas Unfiltered.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
What
Thank you
up?
for having us.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Hell yeah, thank you guys for coming on. So definitely the housing market is hot right now. Was it kind of like that during the pandemic? I mean, it seems like obviously it slowed down, but fucking how the
Oh my God.
market just fucking skyrocketed with prices, with everything. First thing I want to get into is why did the prices go up so much? Like, what's the actual reason? Because I hear different things, at least from you guys, that you guys are in the realtors. Like, why do you think it went up so much?
Who wants to go first? You want to go first?
Sure.
I'll
start it off.
Everybody has their ideas, and
Yeah, we all have our theories of
Exactly.
everything. So, from my experience from talking to people, a lot of people are getting a jump up right now because the interest rates have been so good. They've been so low. We've never seen rates below 3%. And we've been encountering that. It's been staying like this for a couple months now. So, people are getting on the wagon. They want to buy because if you do the math, if you look at how much you'll be saving long term, you are saving a lot of money. And I'm talking, it could be a difference of $100, $150 a month just on interest that you're saving. So $150 a month could go a long way. You could put it towards principal, it's part of your car payment. So as an individual, if you're always looking at the savings, so it's definitely beneficial to purchase right now just because the interest rates are so low. And also why I think there's a shortage is because, the recession wasn't too long ago. So I think some people lost their jobs during COVID, and people are sort of scared still. They're still skeptical. They don't want to suffer like they did back 10 years ago or a little over ago. So some of them are holding on to their houses. They don't want to move because, they don't know if they could lose their job tomorrow. So they're just playing it safe. I don't blame them. And I understand them because, a lot of people did suffer. They paid the consequences and they learned. So I think that's my theory on the housing shortage. What about you?
on the shortage, obviously people feel uncomfortable. Like, if you sell your house, are you going to be able to buy another house? Is there going to be something available? Housing there's a shortage, so people are apprehensive to put their houses on the market. Another thing, just really why it's going hot. Everybody was forced to stay home for a year. People had nothing to do, just be on the internet searching around for houses, and saving their money, planning the future, planning their next year. And now people are out. They've saved plenty of money because people were home. Some people did bad, right? Some people did bad, lost their jobs, whatever. But other people that were working, they weren't spending money, right? Nobody was going on
And even the
vacation.
people that lost their jobs, they were getting money because of unemployment. They were probably making more money than they were actually
Some
making when they were working,
Yes.
right?
Exactly. So people are at home contemplating their next moves, and everybody wants to buy. And then also another thing that adds to it, there is a housing shortage just on the build side. Building materials are very expensive. They're not building as much. Through the recession, they didn't build. So now we're seeing some of that.
Why are those prices skyrocketing like that? What do you guys think, or what is the reason behind that?
I think personally on the material side, I think somebody's holding out.
Yes.
I think somebody lost some money during the COVID because nobody was building again.
And they're trying to make that up.
They're trying to. There's no other. There could be other explanations, but that's what I see.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it's just supply and demand.
Exactly.
Everybody's trying to build now, so it's like, take advantage of it and
Yeah.
Jack up the price.
jack up them prices. Yeah.
Buy a lot.
Have you guys been to Home Depot lately?
Yeah.
No.
2x4, I think it was like $7.50 the other day. Like
Yeah.
$7.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Plywood's what, like
Ply-
$58?
yeah.
Yeah,
The
50.
single sheet,
Yeah.
like
I think it went up more than that now.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
I think I did see like at
Somebody
60 something.
was
Was it our compa? Yes. I think he was
posted
on
one
Snapchat.
too.
It was like 64
And my guy
bucks.
Richie,
Oh my God.
también igual, he
Damn,
posted
man.
it, and it was like $86 for something like that. I was like, damn,
That's crazy.
that's a lot
Yeah.
of money.
So if that's making making houses more expensive for contractors to build, people are
You could just
looking-
imagine.
Yeah, you can just imagine. People are looking at.
But can that be causing an even bigger problem later on in the next 2 to 3 years because it's costing so much to build it? Maybe not a lot of people are going to be buying at that price. At least the ones that are wise, and then eventually it's going to crash. Do you see that coming? I mean, are we jumping too soon to that question?
Oh, the crash question? It's always a big that's been the question since forever, right?
Yes.
And
When
Well, everybody's waiting on it, right?
that's like the most common
Yes.
call, right? When you get, hey, is it a good time to buy, right? I mean, whenever I get that question about crashes, good time to buy, I always tell people, you got to look at yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Are you educating yourself? Are you in a good financial position? Is your family in a good financial position? Are you in a moving point where you're going to go this way or that way? Right? Those things you have to determine for yourself, other than looking at the overall picture, because overall picture, you, me, her, nobody can control that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's really. But do I think there's going to be a crash? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Do I think maybe prices could go stagnant? Yes. I don't think they're likely to go down. Maybe more so stagnant. That's just kind of what
When we talk about the house prices,
the
right?
house prices. Yeah.
But do you think it kind of evens out, even if the prices do go low? I mean, because then the interest will go up, right?
Yeah. So
that kinda-
So we have to look at it like sometimes right now with the shortage, you might pay a little bit more in the housing, but you're saving in interest. So the way I look at it is eventually you'll pay down your house. You'll pay it off, but how much did you save in interest?
Right.
If you're still buying a house a little bit cheaper, say $40,000-$50,000, but you're still paying a lot more in interest, so it becomes the same thing. But then you're paying down your house a lot faster, or
Then-
you just gotta play with the numbers. It's all a numbers game is the way we have to look at it, and that's where I see the benefit in the interest buying right now because the interest rates are so low. Let's take advantage before they go back up.
Yeah. So I'll add to that. The interest and the house prices go hand in hand. So interest rates go up, prices go down. But some amount. If that's
Yeah.
Some level. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think we're gonna go back to like the pricing of how it was in the recession. I don't think we'll go back to
No.
that.
And I feel like that's what
No,
people
I
are
know.
waiting
Yeah,
for,
that's
though,
what
right?
they're
No,
waiting for,
if
but-
anybody listening is waiting for that, don't hold your
No,
breath. If
no,
you need-
that
if you
ship
need a-
sailed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I feel like people are waiting on that crash because they've stacked up so much money
No.
and they want to, get
Yeah,
ahead of life. They
yeah.
want to say, hey, let me get an
Yeah.
investment property. Let me get a
Yeah.
rental property. Let
Yeah.
me buy something,
Yeah.
70 to 80,000. Even if it's a little fixer up or whatnot,
Yeah.
So you're saying don't even hold your breath.
No,
Like,
Yeah, no.
invest your money elsewhere.
Yes,
Do
yes,
something
yes,
different.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And also people get
Nice.
worried about pricing, but the way I tell people, don't get scared. It's okay to buy. Prices, the market will always go up and down, up and down. It's been like this forever. So even if you buy expensive right now, just give it a little bit of time. The prices will go back up later on, and then you'll be able to recover. But the hardest part is holding on to the house, not getting frustrated, and holding till the values go back up if they go.
I feel like that's the hard part,
You know what-
though.
you know what- you
Like
know what?
buying at a high price right now, and then in 2 years, like your house is worth 70 to 80,000 less, and you're like, okay, so that was a bad investment. Like as soon, you know what I mean? Like that's a terrible feeling. I think.
Yeah.
If we go back and look at the recession, that happened to a lot of people, right?
Oh, yeah,
right. That happened
major.
to and I don't know. I was in high school when all that was happening, right? And if you think back, the people that really worked hard through it and actually paid their mortgages and got correct and kept their houses and still have their houses, that house is now worth more than they paid for it.
Yeah,
I
that's
see what you're saying. Okay.
So
But
it's
that's 10
definitely-
years, my brother. That's a huge monthly payment, you know?
Yeah,
we're
sure.
looking at information now that says people are staying in their houses longer, right? I mean, so the average is probably like 7. It's not uncommon for people to stay in the same home for 10 years. So I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
I was gonna ask, what about since the prices are going higher, and I'm hearing about people like they're outbidding. You know what I mean? It comes into a bidding war. So the bank, I mean,
That's a good one.
yeah, I mean the bank, it appraises for whatever X amount of dollars, but you're in the bidding war. So for these people that are trying to buy a home and they do end up in a bidding war, what happens to whatever the bank doesn't want to cover?
So when we say we have a house, we offer 15,000 above what the list
Asking
price
price.
is, right? Okay, and say the appraisal comes back at only 10 above the asking price. So the difference now is $5,000. So there's different situations. We always negotiate. We negotiate everything. So we go back to the seller. Hey, go back to give us the appraisal price. If they say no, then we look at the numbers. Okay. if we go back, if we cancel this and we look again, we might not get what we want, or it might take us 3-4 months to find another house. So, hey, let's try to meet in the middle. So we'll negotiate. Hey, the difference is $2,500. I'll give you $2,500 additionally cash. Or sometimes it depends on the seller too. So sometimes the seller might be, oh no, I want my full $15,000 that you promised you would give me. So give me my additional $5,000. And sometimes people foot it just because they need to move somewhere. It's either job relocation, schools, or whatever. So sometimes you do have to pay a little bit extra to get to the next point that you need to get in your life. So that's what tends to happen. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really a complex kind of topic, right? We're always talking about, okay, there's a spread, right? We got to bridge this gap of the appraisal and the actual we offered for the property. And sometimes there's the flip side of that. What happens if it under appraises by a lot? Like 30,000, which is common in some.
Really?
And then you tell the bank is only going to lend you whatever it appraised, right? And then you're trying to bridge that gap. The seller doesn't want to come down $30,000. He thought he was going to get top dollar for his house.
Yeah.
Right.
And then what do you do there, right? It becomes a really tough conversation, really tough negotiation. Sometimes properties end up back on the market, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but you everything we do. As realtors, we just try to negotiate and make sure everybody's getting a fair deal, and then everybody goes home happy.
So there's no negotiating with the bank, though, right? It's just
No.
Okay.
No.
Just so our listeners, like, oh, dile al banco que me dé más. Like, no se puede, bro. I'm sorry, compa, no se puede.
So they banks usually will lend the appraised value or the purchase price, whichever is less.
Yeah.
Whichever is less. So.
And then pretty much if it is a bidding war with somebody else that does have a little bit more cash available to offer, your buyer's pretty much kind of screwed.
Yeah.
All right. So just want to.
I mean, there's things that we could do. So, I mean, you know what? Sometimes it depends on the seller too. How they say, cada cabeza su mundo.
Yes.
So everybody thinks differently. So sometimes we've encountered where if we're a little lenient, say we offer to buy the house how it is with no repairs, they'll consider that. Or if we're in this crazy market, if we offer them that, they could stay in the property after we close until they find their own home, and then they just pay like a rent. So they like that too because they can't get a house under contract because they have to sell a house.
Yes.
So it helps out the seller. So sometimes like I say, every seller is in a different situation. So sometimes trying to accommodate the seller a little bit more helps out.
Yes. You have to see everybody's needs, right? And you're as realtors, we have to put this whole thing together, put all these parties together, make sure everybody's on the same playing field and on the same terms. And most of the time it works out. When there's realtors involved in both sides, most of the time it works out.
Yes.
Okay. Real quick before we move on, I want to make a shout out to Compa Marcos. We actually did an episode with him on the real estate thing. Yes. But obviously the market changes. There's different things. That's why we're doing an update. So, pero saludos al Compa Marcos.
Marcos, yeah.
Yeah, Marcos Dorado.
I know.
Okay, so another question I had, for also some of these surge in prices. There's talking about corporations buying into the market, and they're just kind of taking everything. Is that also true, or what's going on with that? Like with like developers or
like developers or
people that just flip houses, I guess. They got money. They got money to just
they got
throw
money.
around.
They buy all cash, and you know what? A seller will take cash majority of times because it's just so much easier. You're able to close a lot sooner, and then you don't have to deal with the bank. So sometimes they do buy and they they resell, they flip it and they sell it. Is it good and bad? It's good and bad because you know what? Not every purchaser is willing to take on a flip on a house or work on a house. So sometimes they need move-in ready. So sometimes they're willing to pay a little bit extra just so they don't have to deal with the repairs and everything. Like homeownership is not easy and it's not for everyone. So sometimes as a newbie, you need something that's fixed up, ready to move in. And you know what? That's what we have investors for. They do that, the hard work, the dirty work for the people that are not able to do that and they have no experience in that.
Yeah, no, definitely. If somebody comes in with cash and they're gonna structure a deal with cash, they're always. A lot of the times they'll get first dibs. But I told my clients a lot of the time, as in the previous conversation about sellers, you don't know that seller's intent, right? Mm-hmm. If you come in with a solid offer and you are a regular, homeowner is going to move into their house, they might take you, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might.
You
take
never
you.
know.
You never know. So I told my clients, if you like the house, even if it's a low ball offer, obviously not ridiculous low ball offer, right? Nobody
Yes.
likes that. Nobody likes that.
The
right?
insult
Yeah,
offer.
the insult. Yeah.
I do that quite often.
Te doy $100,000. No. But, a reasonable offer, and if it's a genuine offer, we'll submit it.
Yes.
We'll submit it, and we'll take
Have
it
you
from
stopped some low offers, bro? It sounds like you.
there. Yeah,
Oh, that's not gonna be.
Yeah, no, sometimes people, you got to bring them up to speed. You got to
Sí se
let
pasan
them.
poquito.
Definitely.
You got to let them know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's because everybody wants todo bueno, bonito y barato. But sometimes in this market, there's no such thing as barato anymore. So it's hard, and it's hard to engrave it. And you know what? Sometimes we have to submit offers for them to realize that it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Yes.
It's a learning situation for some of the buyers too.
So yeah, you got to make whatever you're about to do. You sometimes you can't even tell them, right?
Yeah.
You have to make it right in their mind.
Yeah.
They have to see the value that they're buying, and sometimes it takes showing them a lot of houses. Sometimes it takes breaking their heart, them losing deals, right? But I mean, these are things that we have to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I brought up the whole
Corporations.
when people go and buy cash or whatever, I'm talking for these first time home buyers. They're newlyweds, they can't afford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're early 20s or whatever.
Definitely.
So they do try to buy into those fixer uppers, because we'll fix it up or whatever. But it seems like, or I don't know, you guys will tell me. It seems like they can't get those houses because there's investors that are buying out. But does that seem to be factual, or is that just something that they printed out? Because I saw it on the news.
No,
or something
I don't
that.
think that's factual. Most of the time, when you see something that's a regular sale in the MLS, it's somebody that's really trying to sell to another consumer.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the deals you're talking about never make it to our system, right? They never make it to
Yeah.
us. It's behind closed
So
doors.
you wouldn't even see them.
Yeah.
So
They're just somebody buying up a house that's in distress, right?
Yeah.
A really distressed property.
Auctions.
Auctions and things
Oh,
like that.
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like on TV.
Yeah. Those
Flip or
guys,
flop,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, all right, cool.
All those fake guys on TV, yeah, those people.
Here's a question for you guys, which is ahí en las compras también.
Yeah.
You guys are as agents, or do you guys feel like certain agents do take advantage of first dibs? Is that is there such thing as first dibs for agents, and that you see them take advantage of that to either make it an investment property or a flip, or you know what I mean? Like instead of actually selling the home, which is what they're supposed to be
I
doing.
mean, elaborate. Like I'm showing something to somebody else, and I look at him like, I like this for me.
Yes.
Yes.
I've never done that.
No, and that's the reason
No,
why I
yeah.
worded the question.
Yeah.
Have you seen or do you see agents that do take advantage of
Definitely.
the fact that, okay, so it is a thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when we were buying a house early on, I kind of experienced that. You would see homes that you were like, oh, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, that's not listed anymore. Like, I mean, I'm sure people would buy them pretty quickly too, but I mean, where you're seeing, and then you're like, yeah, let's put an offer on this, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, it's not available anymore. Whatever.
Yeah.
But when it happens so much, you're like, all right, dude, it's like, what's going on here?
Sketchy.
Like, somebody's definitely getting first dibs. That we're not losing that many homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So what people do? I mean, realtors. I mean, obviously we're the first ones to see the deals, right? If you have an active client that's looking for a property in that area, right, you're gonna give the courtesy to your client to make sure their needs are being met. But yeah, if you see something you like it, why not?
Yeah.
Right? Well, I mean, I don't see anything unethical with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
as long as
We're
as
trying
long
to
as-
get it sold.
Yeah, exactly. As long as I'm not trying to steal from somebody that I'm working with, I think I'm good.
Yeah, it's
Right.
ethical. Yeah, definitely. And you know what? So we socialize a lot because we're realtors, and you know what? We have to network. So we network when we have a listing coming up. We talk to all of our realtor friends, whatever realtor we encounter. Hey, I got a listing coming up, 2-bedroom, blah 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 blah. So that's how we negotiate, trying to sell the house before it's live and ready to go. So sometimes we do. Like say
See an opportunity.
he's about to list the house in 2 weeks. Hey Veronica, I got this. Oh, I might have a client for you. Okay, cool. Let me show it before you even list it. So sometimes we do that, but that's just our job as professionals and trying to sell. That's our job. We need to sell. So
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, yeah, we love those kind of deals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We really do, because I mean, you're selling to somebody, the agent. If you have the other agent, regardless if it's within your same company or another company, you have a relationship with them, and you know that they're going to close that deal, right?
So I guess the question was more like if this agent is like constantly flipping,
Oh, okay.
Is that, I mean, it's not unethical, I'm saying, but
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're always going to get first dibs other than,
Yeah.
like if I was trying to buy
Yeah.
something to flip
Yeah.
or invest
Yeah.
as an investment property, and like all of a sudden Vero's friend is like,
Yeah.
nah, dude, I'll take it, like I'll buy it. And then it's, well, obviously they're always going to beat me to that deal.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
a little crappy,
Yeah.
you know, but it is what it is. Business is business. I was just wondering, you know, because I was like, man, these guys gotta have first dibs on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do.
Which is yeah, we do.
Yeah,
No other way to put it is like, yeah, we do.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for not sugarcoating. For people that are, you know, had the same
Yes,
question behind that, like,
yes,
hey, I lost, you know, 2 to 3 offers, you know, that were, you know, even above,
Yeah.
and yet another realtor may have come in and like had first dibs on it. Like, you know what? I'll take it.
So sometimes
I mean-
you do see a house, it'll come live on the market, and then an hour later it's already contingent. And like on our information, our MLS, we get a lot more info than the regular buyer consumer. So sometimes we'll see in the notes, hey, so this sold prior to like before listing. So there was a same
Okay.
situation.
Yeah.
So we see it, you guys don't see it, and that's unfortunate because you know if you guys saw that, maybe you guys would.
You guys
be like,
would've
okay,
loved it or
whatever.
something, yeah.
But you know,
It's just part of the game,
yeah,
right?
It's just part of the game. It's
Cool.
hustle.
I just wanted to clarify it
Yeah.
for myself and for people. Like, I'm pretty sure they got first dibs, you know?
No way, you trying to find some deals, man?
Hey,
You
man.
haven't-
We're
you
always
haven't
up for
called
some
me.
deals,
You
man.
haven't called me, man. You sound like you're trying to get some deals over here.
I'm just saying,
You
man.
got some.
I'm waiting for the market to crash.
We need that bubble to burst.
Yeah, we need that bubble to burst, exactly. But hopefully we're there.
All right, before we continue, we got to throw in that Lumbermix
Yes.
sponsor. So
Thank you.
we'll be right back after this commercial.
Shout out to our sponsor, Lumbre Mix, some of the best michelada mix around.
They also have chamoy for all your beverage rim needs in 3 flavors: original, mango, and watermelon. Put that thing on everything.
Also, for all the candy lovers, they have watermelon gummies and peach rings. It's a mix of gummy candy with chamoy. Just fire.
Now follow all of their social media to see what store is near you.
Y que no se apague la lumbre.
Cool. And we're back. Shout out to Sayas, man.
Shout out, Lumbre
Gotta
Mix.
get that Lumbre mix.
Yes.
That
you
way,
know?
we're waiting on that new
Try it
tamarindo
out.
in stores,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, yeah.
I posted on my Snap, got a lot of comments, bro. I told the compa that it was probably my favorite chamoy, but I got a lot of comments like, "Yo, make sure you save me one." Oh, when is it coming out? All this, so
It should
hey,
be
man,
coming out soon,
it's,
man.
it's hot in these streets,
Nice,
baby.
Nice.
All right, to get back into it, I wanted to talk about since we're from Illinois. I want to know if you guys know of any incentives right now, any kind of programs, anything that for people that would encourage them to buy instead of moving out. Which
So the biggest one I know right now, the only one I really talk about, because really this is a question for the loan officers.
Right.
They really have to look at your personal finance, right? But the one that's really I think is underutilized that should be used is the Smart Buy. I believe it's called.
Yes,
It's IDA program from Illinois that gives you up to $40,000 in college debt reimbursement if you
nice.
buy a house.
shit.
Yes.
So I think people are not looking into that closely enough. I've tried a few guys to get them. I haven't done a sale with it, but I would really like to. If somebody wants to do
Yes.
that, give
Yes.
me a call on that one.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
So yeah, I had a listing and we sold, and the buyer had that
Oh,
program.
okay, so you've dealt with it a little
yes,
bit.
and he got $38,000
Wow,
in
look at
student
that.
loan debt forgiven, which is
Wow.
amazing. I mean, how many years of work is he saving from this benefit?
That is
and then
huge.
also, if you don't have student loans, there are other programs. One is $6,000 that you don't have to pay back. And there's another one that's $10,000 that you have to pay back when you sell your house. So because of this crazy market too, and everybody's offering extra and more, it's beneficial to take a hold of those programs too, because it saves you money on the closing cost or whatever, and it's a little bit less. It helps in this market. It really does. You could offer a lot more, and you're still okay at the end of the day.
And if that home is your dream home, that 10 grand is awesome.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
That's
sure.
awesome. You'll never have to pay that back if you're going to stay there forever.
So it's $6,000, the one that you don't have to pay back, and
No, the 10.
the 10
The 10 you have to pay
do
back.
have to
When
pay
you
back
sell
when
it.
you sell
But if that's your dream home,
Yes.
you ain't selling.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Be
true.
careful
Yes.
though. Be careful when you get into these programs, right?
Don't listen to me. I'm just talking shit.
No, we don't know.
He's like, yeah. No, he's like, yeah, don't sell the house.
I'm selling the dream, bro. Like,
No. But I have had one instance where I'm helping another agent with the closing, and yeah, we had a problem with that because the homeowner had a type of program like that. It gets filed with the county, and it's technically a lien on the property. And if you don't know you're in this kind of program, the realtor sold you on it, and you go to sell your house, and you don't know, hey, I have to pay back these $10,000, and then that could be a problem for later on.
So you saw that too?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Seen the reverse.
Yeah, I've seen the reverse.
Yeah, make sure you know.
Yeah, make sure you know what programs you're getting into. Try to really understand them. I know it's difficult. I know we understand them because we're realtors, but really, really, I mean, the educated consumer is probably the best type of consumer.
Yes.
So really educate yourself, understand the types of things that you're getting into, and ask your realtor. Really ask them.
Yes.
Nice.
So if you can you elaborate a little bit on the college one? I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
But like, how does that actually work, and how do you get the?
So usually so you want to buy a house. Say you owe less than $40,000 in student loan debt, right? So if you buy a house, they also give you a closing cost credit.
In Illinois.
Yeah, in Illinois.
Okay.
This is through the state of Illinois. So they give you help of $5,000 for closing cost. Okay,
Nice.
so
Okay.
this is additional $5,000 on top of the 40. And if you owe less than 40, then it gets recorded as a lien. But after so many years, it dissolves. I think it's after 3 years, it's forgiven. It's gone. And
So you do have to kind of be at the house for 3 years at
3 years,
least.
yes.
yes.
Okay.
Which is still
cool.
not bad. I mean,
No.
everybody averages about 3 years at least minimum.
Yeah, and also one of the borrowers, the last time I checked, at least one of the borrowers has to be completely debt-free from this program. So you can't have so it's kind of a specific window. You can't have like $100,000 in debt and they'll take 30 out, whatever, the 40,000.
Yeah, the numbers
you gotta,
have to work.
yeah, the numbers have to work. You got to be completely debt-free after the whole closing is done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a good point right there.
Yeah. And then also, if you say you owe $60,000 in student loan debt, you could still apply for this program, but you have to bring the difference from the 40 to the 60 to the closing table.
The 20.
But I mean, I would. If you have the money, it wouldn't be bad to pay the 20 and have 40 forgiven. So you have
it's a
to
win-win
you
right
have
there.
to look at it.
100%.
We have to look at the numbers, and everybody's situation is different. But if you're able to do so, it's a great way to save $40,000 on student loan debt. There is no other help. I mean, I wish this program was around when we were buying, but we missed that boat. But for anyone out there that could benefit from this, take advantage of it, because you know what, these programs don't last forever. So you have to take advantage of it right now.
Yes, definitely call us, right? That's the sales guy in me. But call your realtor, whoever your trusted advisor is. Call them, ask them.
Call us.
Call, you have to call whoever your trusted advisor
Hey,
is.
we're gonna have people calling Compas Unfiltered, bro.
Like, we don't know.
Not us.
Hey, no, he's like, call them, don't call me.
Nah, we got you guys. We'll definitely be posting.
But I'm just saying, really ask your. I mean, I'm an advocate for real estate, right? Personally, it doesn't have to be me, right? I'm just saying, call whoever and make
Whoever
sure
you trust.
Yeah, whoever you trust, and make sure they're helping you. Ask them these questions.
Yes, always be informed. This is the number one problem I think with real estate, is that people don't do their research. They don't ask questions. You need to ask questions, be informed, and know what you're getting yourself into, so you're that responsible individual that doesn't hit, in big problems in the future.
Yeah.
So this is more, I guess, for like a loan officer, but like refi.
Okay.
The interests are so low,
definitely.
right?
Yes,
You should definitely.
okay.
I mean,
Yes.
especially if you can save a few bucks, we have already
Yes.
mentioned. Definitely refi.
Definitely refi right now. Take advantage of the rates, especially if your rate was higher. And also, it's not a bad time to look at the equity in your home. So sometimes if you say you have PMI, private mortgage insurance right now, and if
that's a
you
big
do the
one.
refi, and if you have that 20% equity, depending on the type of loan, if you have a conventional loan, they will get rid of that PMI for you. So
You gotta do that.
I mean, that could save you whatever. Sometimes $100.
Yeah, $150, $200. Take it. Look into it.
Make sure you do that. Facts.
Oh, yeah.
Ask questions.
I know another thing that I've noticed too. Homeowners exception, guys. Homeowners exemption with the county. If you live in your primary residence, it's your primary residence. Make sure it's labeled as that in your tax return. I'm sorry, your tax bill.
Yeah.
Your tax bill. Because
Why? What are you seeing with that?
Well, sometimes I go on a listing appointment and they don't have that.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have that. They're not taking advantage of that.
That they're the primary.
That's their
Yeah.
primary residence, and you get some money
So
off
what?
of that. Off
What do
your
they
tax
have
bill.
it as?
Just the
Like
tax
a rental, almost like a
Oh,
rental
wow.
property.
Yeah,
So
I didn't
you
know
pay
that you could
more
do
in
that.
taxes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
And same if you're a senior, if you're over 65 and older, there's 2 different types of exemptions for you. Look into it, save some money.
Over
Save
65?
money. Yeah, over
Okay.
65. Yes.
It's worth the
Bet.
call to anybody, really.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, look at my things. Does it look good?
Yes, yes, yes.
Regardless if you're
Anything
buying or
to
selling,
see.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we're a little bit over halfway of our time, but I wanted to get into, because I want to put la raza on. I want to help them out.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes, definitely.
So they're probably thinking, man, well, my credit score.
Okay.
Or, I don't have enough money, which we already talked a little bit about some of the incentives.
Mm-hmm.
But what else can they do? Or they might think they're not in a position to buy.
Yeah.
But maybe they are. They just don't know it. So is there anything that you guys advise that you guys can give them?
Yes, the best advice, don't give up. I had a gentleman, we tried 2-3 different lenders, The first lender sometimes they ask a lot of questions. A lot of times, I don't want to, diss on lenders. Sometimes they don't want to give them the light of day, right? Because they are going to be a tougher, file for them. They're going to have to work them and make sure, they're asking all the right questions. So we have to work side by side with our client, with the lender, to make sure they get approved. And if that person doesn't work out, we have to take them somewhere else.
Right.
You can't. Don't take the first no. Don't take the first no. First off, another thing, be very. I don't know what the word is. Know where you're buying, right? Know your budget. Know exactly what you can afford would be a starting point, and be realistic with what you're going to get. And I would advocate for home ownership for anybody, right? So if you could only afford a condo, buy it. Go ahead and buy it. Mm-hmm. If that's what you could afford, and that's what's going to make you a homeowner, do it. Do that thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to buy because this is not my dream home." You rather just keep paying rent. It doesn't. I'm just throwing that out there. Make sure you're realistic, and if you're this person, make sure you have realistic expectations of what your budget is, and then do it. Go out and do it.
Yeah, definitely. And what I always suggest to people is that I like to sit down with people, go over everything with them, details, credit-wise. Even if you want to buy in 5 years, let's make sure we prep you for when your time comes, that you're ready and you get the better interest rate because your credit's better, and get you into the better different type of loan type. So there's different types of loans, and some are more expensive in the long run than others. And it all comes based on credit. So you know what? Let's sit down with you. If you have problems, you know what? We work with collection repair companies or credit repair companies that will put you where you need to be.
That's what's up.
And you know what? Especially for me, to buy a house, it needs to be your time. It needs to be your time. I'm not pushy. I'm not like, hey, you gotta buy a house.
Yes.
No. It's when you're ready. So let's build you if we have to and get you where you need to be. Just when your time is here, you know what? You benefit the most.
Man, we would work so great together. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. Right? Yeah. Find whoever you're using. Right? It doesn't have to be us. Right? But obviously, we would want to promote ourselves. But use somebody that's going to give you time. Use somebody that's going to help you.
Definitely.
Right. So it's not just showing people houses. That's not the goal, really. The goal is to make sure people are satisfied, they're getting a home, and everybody's being in a good financial shape. Right. That's the real goal.
Definitely.
So there's many variables to it, right?
So much positive, bro. I feel the positiveness coming from this table. It's great. I love it. I love it.
This is our daily, man. This is our daily. We gotta we gotta put this up every day, man.
Yes, yes.
The best day or the worst day,
So obviously there's many variables, but if you guys can give a little bit of examples of let's say someone's thinking man, but my credit score is a 500.
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you guys think where it's what at this point, depending, obviously there's other different variables, like I said, but what are some of the scores or anything that you can tell us, our listeners, that they might be well, shit, I am at 650, fuck, so I can maybe apply and get a house.
Yeah.
So what are some of those scores or anything like that?
Obviously, I think you could correct me if I'm wrong. I really rely on my loan officers for this, but I think 640 is the number really they could work with. They could work with a 600, even a 580. But obviously, these things are going to need more work.
The rates are more expensive.
And the rates are more expensive,
really
right?
expensive.
If you have a 700, you're probably perfect for buying. Anything above a 700, you could probably buy. Yeah. Another thing is also your income, right?
And debt ratios too. Yeah. So
your debt is
they
super
look at
important.
how much you make and how much of that money is out, and it's going to take a couple years to get rid of those debts too. And then also just story because I like talking about my clients and our past experiences. So I sat down with a mother and daughter, first time home buyers. The mom has been here for over 30 years in this country. They've always rented, and they're we finally want a house. My kids are working. So we sat down, looked at their credit. It was low 500s.
Okay.
And then, so we went through 2 lenders. They give her super high interest rates right now in this market, and it was still at 5.5. So I got frustrated that they were giving her such high interest rates. So I sat down with her, went over everything, pulled up their Credit Karma, whatever. And then I found that they had a lot of late payments. And then I sat down with her, I explained to her how credit works. And I sent her through the credit repair company. They got them up to 680.
And this is you going above and beyond.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
That's like extra.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
Yeah.
She is going.
That's above and beyond.
I would say yes. She is going above and beyond. Some people you'll call will not
No,
do
they
that.
will not do that. No. But,
So you just wanted to help.
Yeah, we got to
Whoa.
take care of our people. You know,
Yeah.
That's
we
what's
got
up.
to take care of our
You heard?
side. Yes.
You heard?
I mean, I got a story too. You know, I have this. You know, right now I'm sure she's seeing this FHA, right? If you have somebody, FHA is somebody that might need a little bit of help, right? Stuff like that. It's a government kind of backed loan. I don't know the whole in and out of it, but it's a government-backed loan, and it's hard to get somebody under contract if they have an FHA loan. And I have somebody, we're under contract now. I have a home inspection on Tuesday, but it took me a long time to get them under contract.
Yes.
And she was putting really good offers, and just because, and the other agent won't tell you, they won't ever say.
It's just a more difficult loan to process and accept and all that.
Exactly.
Extra steps.
But find somebody that is not going to give up on you. Find somebody that's going to work hard for you and take you out if you have to. If it takes you 6 months to show them out, it shouldn't take that long. But if it does, you found the right person to help you.
Yeah, that are trying to help.
Yeah.
You know exactly how you went above and beyond to help that person get their credit
Yeah,
scored up,
where it needs to
understand
be.
how credit
Yes.
works, get it up,
Definitely.
send these payments on
Definitely.
time and all that.
And then her new interest, just so you guys know, it went from 5.5 with other lenders to another lender, and it went down to 3.5.
Nice.
Damn, that's
So
what's up.
that's how big of a difference it was. And you know what? It feels good.
And this is recent.
Yeah, this is recent. Like
This
we
was- she's
just
like, this
closed
was
a couple
yesterday.
weeks ago. We're so happy. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's exciting. And you know what? We love contributing to helping our people because you know what? Our people, our parents, sometimes they came here to this country. They don't know how credit works. Nobody knows anything.
Yeah,
We don't even know. Who taught us about credit and what percentages to use on limits and stuff? Nobody. So you know what? We have to educate our people so they educate their kids and their family and we all rise, you know.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I love.
You heard that? We all rise.
Yeah.
We all rise and she held out like this. Hey, y'all gotta see this on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, you better go check it out.
Yes.
Now you just said something that kind of hit. What percentages to use on limits?
Okay.
On a certain limit on a credit card
credit
or
card,
whatever.
yes.
So
So-
I've never really heard someone talk like that. I mean, I understand it, but
Yeah.
can you explain
Yeah, so
to the people listening? Like,
so say you have a credit card and they only give you $100. You shouldn't be using more than 30% of your credit card. If you go above that 30% of what the limit they're giving you or the income that they're giving you, then your credit will drop.
Okay.
So you want to keep it below that 30, but then you still sort of want to have a percentage on it.
some usage.
So they keep on, your credit stays stable and it stays
Exactly.
good. So
I've recently had somebody that had a really great job, right? Just this guy didn't have any kind of credit history. His FICO score was deleted. He had nothing.
Holy moly.
I said, hey, le dije, hey, señor, pues, ¿qué pasó aquí? No, pues, yo no tengo nada. Yo, pero
Like,
tengo buen
I-
crédito.
I buy
He
cash or what?
Yeah, he told me I have great credit. And he's like, I don't owe anybody anything. I was like, no, that's
not how it
works. And I said, you have no credit, man. So now we got him a credit card, and he's obviously he's still doing. I told him to use it to pump gas, and pay it off every month.
Yeah.
And
Groceries.
but
Oh, right now that's gonna add up quick, bro.
So you need
bro.
so guys. I mean, don't run into credit card debt, but please, keep things open. Don't cancel your credit cards and
Yes.
stuff like that, unless it's a burden on your finances where you have to pay interest and stuff like that. Obviously, look at those things. But if it's not, don't close your credit cards. Don't think owing nobody anything is
It's
going to
good.
help. Yeah, that's not good, especially when you're trying to buy a house.
definitely.
Another thing I was going to touch on, or I wanted to bring up, was when you do qualify and your loan officer tells you like you qualify for X amount of dollars to
Yes.
purchase a home. Maybe I'm wrong. You shouldn't max out.
Yes, this is a big one. So, like he mentioned before, learn and look at what you could afford. Don't start shopping for the champagne if you could only afford the beer. Okay, so we have
Beer's
to
good, though.
Beer is
it's good. It's so good.
never had champagne before, but beer's
Yeah,
awesome.
beer's awesome.
Especially with Lumina Mix.
Of course. Oh, it's
Hey,
Lumina
look
Mix.
at that.
You already know.
I know you're a mimosa kind of guy.
If I'm on vacation, I'm down.
There you go. Then you had some champagne.
Oh, sorry.
Hey,
Start talking about drinks, bro. Everybody gets all excited.
I was like, what happened there? What are we talking about now?
Oh yeah, what was the
That's the first time that's ever happened, bro.
What?
When we just start talking about drinks or anything else and just like forget about
Normally
the
we
topic.
talk about food. We're like,
Yeah,
hey, tacos.
Food is a topic.
Oh man, food is awesome.
There you go. There you
Well,
go.
we were talking about people like maxing out their, whatever X amount of dollars that your loan officer says that you qualify for, and people are like, oh, shoot, I qualify for this, so I'm going to get this. And it's like,
Very rarely.
maybe you shouldn't, but
Yeah, very rarely. I mean, I find the need for that, right? Some people have situations where maybe they have extended family living with them, and they have other people that are going to contribute to the payment that the loan officer does not see.
Yeah.
And maybe it does make sense for them,
Yeah.
right? Maybe they have enough income.
Yeah.
Maybe they sell tamales on Saturday,
Yeah.
and they make some extra money or whatever they're doing.
Uber Eats.
Yeah, exactly. And they make and they say, oh, I'm going to do it because of these things. But normally, yes, you got to be cautious on the purchase price.
Do
Make
you
sure-
guys? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so these are things that we look into, right? Things that I told my clients, make sure you know where your income's coming from. If you are going to have that extra roommate, if you are going to have, somebody living with you and they're going to contribute to helping you, then maybe you might want to do that.
Yeah. And another thing, sorry,
go ahead.
So another thing also, I always recommend my clients to look in the future.
Yes.
So before you tap and max out that limit, if you have 2 teenagers that are about to go to college and they want some really expensive field, you have to look into the future. So before you max out what you're allowed to buy, make sure you leave some space so you could afford their college or whatever. Don't always stay maxed out. Go ahead, Noy.
I think you guys answered. I mean, I was going to ask you if you guys could slow down somebody that is ready to buy that dream home, but it's literally at their max. And you're like, do you kind of slow them down and like, hey, look at the overall picture,
I just
or
make
like
when
hey,
I'm
whatever you
talking
feel
to
comfortable
them,
with?
when I talk to them, we're about to write an offer. I always throw those cautionary points out there. Obviously, you don't want to discourage somebody.
Yeah.
It becomes a hard point because people do get a little sensitive about this topic, right?
course.
So if they really like the house, you tell them, hey, is this going to work out for you? And obviously, they've already maybe talked to the loan officer and all that stuff. So most of the time, you just throw it out there. Ultimately, it's the consumer's, choice.
Just to protect your that's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, because some people, you kind of get overly excited about something that you may want or love,
Yeah.
but realistically, even if the bank is giving you this money, now pretty much your whole check is going to this,
Yeah.
and now it's like, well, yeah, you have this dream home, but you have no money to live,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like car
to live
shopping.
life. You know what I mean?
I think I'm pretty good at gauging whoever I'm working with, right? Some people are. The decisive person is probably the easiest person to work with. The indecisive person, you got to throw these jabbing, terms at them. These,
push.
have these conversations with them. Yeah, push them a little bit.
Yeah.
And whichever way is that. And sometimes, I've had shown houses where somebody wants to offer, and they're like, hey, let's go, $50,000 over asking because I really want to buy a house like this week. And I was like, hey, relax. Let's
Yeah.
look at this thing. Let's make sure this is what you want.
Really? Just like that?
Yeah, because a lot of times people people want to buy a house, right?
Yes.
And sometimes there's other reasons in their life reasons why they need to. I need to move from this apartment I don't like. I'm living with my parents. I'm doing whatever you're doing in your life, right? And people need to buy. And sometimes you have to. We're kind of the realtor is really a really unique kind of role because we're supposed to be the level-headed person in the whole thing, right? We're supposed to really not care about
The
somebody.
mediator,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I really don't. I'm looking at this deal. I'm not looking at this overall picture. Yeah, maybe know about your overall picture, but I'm really trying to keep this all together and make sure everything's going to work out. Because the latest thing, which is common right now, you could probably add to this. People get really aggressive with their offers, and then comes the home inspection.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
a huge thing. and then the home inspector, you're paying somebody to come into your home, right, to find problems, and they're going to find problems because that's their job. That's their job, and they got to document all this stuff to cover, to do their job and cover their behind. And if they got really aggressive during the offer stage, people feel bad, you know, when something comes up. Oh, I'm gonna pay top dollar for this, and that is wrong. And then you can't really step back. You can't really say, well, you didn't tell me before I offered all this stuff. You know, before I get,
you kind of mentioned it right away, hey, like we haven't done a home inspection.
Yes.
Yeah.
You sure you want to offer that much over? And they're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I'm a little bit more on the cautious side, but I really want the whole thing to go together.
You want everybody to be happy, the seller, the buyer.
Yeah, and I want everybody to be happy, and especially the person that's working with me, right? Whoever that may be. And so I do have these conversations. People really like it, you know.
That's good. Yeah, hell yeah. I think that's the best thing to do, bro. Is to have these conversations and kind of have a connection with your, customer, your client, whatever.
Yeah, we're definitely guiding the process, right?
Yes.
We're definitely guiding the process, and they may not know what their next thing's coming up, and you have to tell them, hey, if you do this, these things are coming down the line. Just make sure, okay, and then they understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, I feel like that's the biggest thing, though, man, for you guys as realtors and shit. So to me, it's like you guys making that connection with your client and assisting them and guiding them through the process instead of, because I've been through some, bro, where it's all about the sell and not the helping. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
after that, then I don't feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody likes that.
Exactly.
No.
So,
It's like going to
but
a
I've
car
also had the
dealership.
good. Exactly. I've also had the good process of buying a home, and I was like, all right. Dope.
It's not so bad.
No, it's not so bad.
not so bad.
They were
It
helpful,
was
answered
good.
questions because you don't do this every day.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah.
with going to buy a car. Perfect
Yeah.
example. You don't do this all the time. So when you're in the finance room, they're throwing words at you. They're throwing
Yeah.
documents at you.
Warranties.
Like they do this every single
Yeah.
day. You do it once every 5-6 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So same thing with buying a home. You might do that three times in your lifetime. Maybe twice, maybe just once.
Maybe just once
You know what I
or so,
mean?
yeah.
So it's like, to have a person like you guys help out and make that, help that person understand the process and to feel safe and secure about it. I mean, to me, that's legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's legit. That's the best experience you want to give that person.
That's really where we come in, where the value's added, right?
Yes.
Our knowledge of previous experiences and just making sure everything's going smooth for them.
Yeah. So for all those realtors that don't help out like that, find something else to do, bro.
That may be true. That may be
I'm
true.
for
I'm
real.
sorry.
Like,
Don't want to throw it out.
if all you care about is the top dollar and making that
Yeah.
sell, that's probably this isn't the job for you. You know what I mean?
They're just doing
honestly,
sales.
honest
It's
truth.
not to I think my biggest reward is when the client appreciates you so much for all the help you did, and you know what, they're so happy in their house and they still call you 3 years later like, oh, how you been, I miss
Right.
you so
Yes.
much, but it's so rewarding.
That's
and that's
yeah.
our goal
Yeah.
to for them to remember us and to remember us in a good way.
That's
Definitely.
that's
Yeah.
what's up.
Yeah, I actually had that experience last night. I was at a party and
Where's this
Where?
going?
Well, no, I'm just, I like stories. I like stories.
Okay,
So
okay.
let me throw it in there. So I'm at a party, right? And then this, a couple that I helped was there, and their son comes and he's like, "I'm gonna give you a s'more because you helped me buy my house."
Aww.
And I was like, "Oh my god!" My
That's
wife was
awesome.
like, "Yeah," and he was like, "I don't know her," and everybody's like, "Okay," and it was great. It feels
That's
really
awesome.
good. Yeah.
But that's how you know you had a solid connection. That's
Yeah.
how you know you did the right thing.
Yeah.
That's how you know you helped someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you guys are helping. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
With the process. So to me, it's like I can say that because I've had both experiences. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like that sour experience, man. I would never refer that person. you know what I mean?
no,
But this last time that we,
I went through it.
Checo
was
knows.
awesome,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? The guy was
awesome.
helpful.
Yeah.
He was super good through the process of buying the home. Informative. Stayed connected all the time. Hey, I like this. Boom. Messages right away. Hey, I'll get on top of that. Whatever it is.
Yeah, it's communication.
So, exactly. So to me, it's like if you're only in it for the sale, it's probably not the gig for you.
Yeah.
That's just because I've been through both sides. You know what I mean? I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
But you guys sound like y'all legit as hell, man.
Yes, we try.
That is
our best.
awesome.
Definitely.
Checo, you got any more questions?
I think I'm done with my questions, bro. Unless you got something else that you want to bring up.
I have
Go ahead.
one more thing.
Go ahead. Yeah,
and it's
definitely.
not like super. But how do you guys is there a smart way to invest? Can you buy a house and every 5 years move every
Yes.
10? Okay, so what would be I like that. Kind of elaborate
You
on
know
that for
what?
people that are not afraid. Like for me, I'm at my house now, dude, and my wife and I love it. The kids love it, but we know that we could probably do better. But we love the house. We fell in love with it. You know what I mean? So we're just there, and we don't want to move. And it's like all these questions come up.
You're gonna
what about-
want to move, but This is
So, yeah, go ahead.
Let me elaborate a little bit of my thoughts on this whole thing. It's kind of what I've done, right, and how I'm a realtor now.
Yeah.
Your first property, this doesn't work for everybody. I'm just throwing my ideas out there of what I do. Your first property, you want it to be an investment. Regardless if it's a multi-unit, single-family home, you have that investment mindset in your first property, especially if you're a young person, anybody under 25 or even in your 20s, right? Or whenever you could buy, making your investment property, buy a house that could be rented to somebody else, right? Because you're going to have that option to buy again and have a 5% down payment or FHA loan, regardless, or you're going to have options to buy again. So make the first one a house that makes sense to be a rental property. Live in that house, rehab it, do whatever you have to do, even if it needs a little bit of work, right? And then rent it to somebody else, move into your next one, and your next one should still probably be a property that could be rented to somebody else. If you do 2 or 3 of these moves, you're ahead of the game. Nobody's doing this. I did it. I mean, so I'm saying nobody. I did it. Some people are doing this, but think of it. Call somebody that's going to help you do that. A big thing that I did this year. I hope somebody get a 2-flat with an FHA loan. And now they're renting 1 unit and it's an income property, right? And 3.5% down payment. Great deal. When
that is awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of times you could only do this on your first deal. So keep that in mind. If that's something you want to get into, call your realtor. Make sure you let them know that.
Definitely. And I think, like, looking back at history, how is wealth here? How do people get wealthy? Okay, like I said, we're a generation of immigrant parents, so we have to step it up, right, for our next generations of our kids and their kids and their kids. So wealth is grown through real estate, right? The more properties you own, just like Monopoly, the richer you get eventually, right? So great, it's great. We always recommend, if you could live in 1 unit, you rent out the other. Your monthly, what you're paying monthly after what you receive in rents is very little. And then you go buy your other house and now you rent out that unit pays itself off and you might have some extra for your second house.
Yes.
So, and if you keep this trend going, you should be able to build some wealth over time. Once those houses get paid, you're just looking at cash flow. What do rich people think, or they say cash flow? How much do you have coming in cash flow? Without you working, how much do you have coming in per month, per year? So a lot of people benefit from this, and some people take full advantage, and they're not stressed out at their jobs now because, I work because I want to, not so much because I have to. So I think we need to, get educated and, start making what we call money moves, right?
Yes.
We got to put our money to work.
Yes, we all.
This is the sexy talk right here, bro. Cash flow, money moves.
Yeah.
Look at that. Keywords, baby. If you guys are listening, this is the hot topic right now.
Just adding to that, when our parents came here, right? They all lived in apartments and stuff, and we all have an uncle, a tío, a cousin, somebody that's done this, right? The model is there. It's not a complicated model, right? It could be achieved by a lot of us. It's just having that mindset and having the right mindset. And yeah, eventually when the properties get paid off, right, you could or you level up, you buy a multi-unit, a huge multi-unit, 12-unit or 6-unit. I mean, these are things that people are doing, and it could be done. It's not that complicated. It's really not.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've seen families where they buy their little condo and then they rent it out, but they work hard, for 5-6 years between husband and wife. They pay off their condo, yes. And then they rent it out. And then from that rent is paying 3/4 of the mortgage on their new single family home. So definitely look into it if you're able to. If you're just sitting on a job, you're renting, or if you're living with your parents, but you're not ready to move out. Yeah, you know what? That's okay. Buy a house, rent it out. Let it start paying itself off, keep that cash flow, and then you could buy another one,
Once you're ready, that thing may be paid off.
Yes, but
exactly.
Don't sit on it. There's money on the table. You need to go out there and get it. What are you going to do to
Look
go
at
get
that
it?
talk, man.
Yeah.
Cash flow, money moves, money on the table.
She has them all. She has them all. That's
You hear that? I'm taking it all in, bro. That positive talk, bro.
Dropping those bombs, man.
Yes.
That's what's up. What's up? Level up, baby. What else you got, Checo?
I think I'm done, Ron.
I'm good. Yeah, no, I just had that last question because I hear that, that, hey, you should be moving all the time. Like, don't stay stagnant. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm not even thinking like I'm happy where I'm at home wise,
Yeah.
The house has everything that we want. You know what I mean? So you're always going to be able to do better. You
Yeah.
could always want
Yes.
more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
Sometimes more is not better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes more is not better, right? What ends up happening, I go into these houses, and sometimes people have these huge houses, and they're filled with nothing. There's nothing in these houses. Be comfortable with what you have.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm happy, man.
Be
We're gonna
comfortable.
go to this frame thing. This house is a home or something. Love makes this a home or some bullshit. No, but it's true. You're right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just had that question about that, just to get your input on it. But I love the answers. So.
Yeah.
Invest
I
for
mean, you
sure.
don't.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable where you're at, it's okay. But you know what? You might still be able to afford a condo. You might be able to pay,
rent it out.
rent that out. It pays
Oh,
itself off, and it pays part of your mortgage in your house right now that you're comfortable in, and that's fine. But like I said, stay woke. Get up and do something, and there's an opportunity out there for you. There will always be opportunity in real estate, so it's just a matter of what you want to do. And you know what? Sometimes even just one little property that might give you an extra $400 a month will lead to a car payment. It might lead to your kids going to Catholic school. So baby steps. There's also baby steps. You don't have to go all big as well. Everybody's different, but that's fine.
Yeah, but make that move. Make that call. Do whatever you have to do. Do the research. Save that extra cash. Whatever you want to do, it will pay off.
There's money on the table.
Yes, for sure.
Hey, bro. I think that's the title of the show. There's money on the table, man. The cash flow.
Hell yeah.
Money moves. Whatever, bro. We got titles, bro. We got titles for this one.
All right, so I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yes.
I want to tell you guys thank you, Felipe, thank you, Vero,
Thank
you for
coming
having
on,
us.
putting us on, putting La Raza on, to hopefully make some moves, make some money moves.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely, I want you guys to put out your social media or whatever, that way people can contact you if they have any questions or they want to buy through you guys. Anything you guys want to give out, definitely let the people know.
Perfect. They want me to go first. I'm Felipe Hernandez, Century 21 TK Realty. We're in Addison, Illinois. You could find me there. If you want my phone number, I could throw that in.
Go ahead, brother.
708-655-4207. Give me a call if you need me.
Hey, and this is Veronica Dorado, and I am from Redco Realty in Elmhurst, but I go all over the place. Don't you worry about where you're trying to buy. I'll be there. And my phone number is 630-639-2103.
There you go. I'll obviously link all of this below on whatever you're listening on YouTube.
Somewhere
Like I
right
said,
here.
it is somewhere.
Waka.
No,
I
we
saw
don't.
that on YouTube. I don't know. Just in case, bro.
We ain't there yet, bro.
Oh, my bad. I saw it on YouTube. I was like, it looks good. We'll link it here, bro.
Are you seen those?
Yeah.
And then it's over on the other side.
That's exactly what's gonna happen here, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the bottom somewhere down there. Ahí va a estar.
Click on the tab, fool. You'll find it.
See. So this is Compas Unfiltered. You got something to say?
Nah, we out, baby.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Deuces.
Take care, bye.